What if I told you that the strangest financial stress doesn't hit when you're broke? It hits when you're actually doing okay. Think about that for a second. Your bills are getting paid. You're not panicking at the grocery store. Maybe your paycheck lands and you even feel a tiny moment of relief. But somehow, deep down, money still feels tight. Like it's slipping through your fingers even though the numbers say you should be fine. It's a weird feeling, right? Almost like you're running on a treadmill where the speed keeps increasing even though you never touched the controls. 1 minute life feels manageable. And the next minute, your brain starts throwing questions at you like a corporate meeting you never scheduled. Are you saving enough? What if the car breaks down? What about rent next year? What if something big happens? Suddenly, the money you have doesn't feel like security anymore. It feels like a temporary shield that might crack at any moment. And here's the crazy part. This feeling shows up for millions of people who technically aren't struggling. They're working, earning, doing what society told them to do. Yet inside, there's this quiet pressure humming in the background, like a fridge motor you can't turn off. Part of the reason is simple. Modern life trained our brains to focus on what's missing instead of what's working. You pay your bills? Cool. But your mind jumps straight to the next expense. Your paycheck covers your needs. Great. But now you're thinking about emergencies, retirement, investments, upgrades, and all the smart money moves you're supposed to be making. Suddenly, money stops feeling like a tool and starts feeling like a test. You're constantly failing by a few points. And then social media walks into the room and makes everything louder. You're just chilling, scrolling for a minute. And boom, someone your age is buying a house, launching a startup, flipping real estate, traveling to places that look like they were designed by a movie studio. Now, your brain instantly compares timelines. Wait, am I behind? Even if you were perfectly content 30 seconds ago, comparison flips a switch. The money you had 5 minutes ago now feels smaller, weaker, not enough. Nothing in your life changed, but your perception did. That's the trick. Scarcity isn't always about the amount of money you have. It's about the story your mind keeps repeating. And in today's world, that story is loud. Everywhere you look, there's advice telling you to earn more, invest smarter, build passive income, upgrade your lifestyle, move faster, hustle harder. Some of that advice is useful, sure, but it also plants this sneaky belief that wherever you are right now, it's still not enough. So even when things are stable, your brain stays on alert, like a security guard expecting trouble. Another reason money starts feeling scarce is what I call the moving finish line. When you were younger, maybe your goal was simple, just make enough to live comfortably. Then you got there, but something funny happened. The definition of comfortable shifted. Now comfortable means a nicer apartment. Then maybe a better car. Then saving for the future. Then helping family. Then planning for bigger goals. Each step makes sense. None of them are wrong. But stacked together, they create this endless ladder where every rung reveals another one above it. You climb, climb, climb. And the view keeps changing, but the feeling of almost there never disappears. And here's the psychological twist that hits people the hardest. Once you experience a certain level of stability, the fear of losing it becomes stronger than the happiness of having it. In other words, you're not just managing money anymore. You're protecting a lifestyle. That pressure sneaks into everyday decisions. Buying something small turns into a mini debate in your head. Do I really need this? Should I save instead? What if something happens next month? Even when the purchase wouldn't actually hurt you financially, your brain still treats it like a risk. Over time, that mental tension makes money feel scarce, even when the math says otherwise. It's like carrying a backpack that gets heavier every time your income grows, because expectations grow with it. And honestly, a lot of people never talk about this part out loud. On the outside, everything looks stable: job, income, routine. But inside, there's this quiet voice constantly asking if you're doing enough, if you're building enough, if you're preparing enough. That voice doesn't disappear when you start earning more. Sometimes it actually gets louder, because now there's more to maintain, more to protect, more to think about. And the wild thing is, the solution isn't always just make more money. Sure, earning more helps with real problems, but it doesn't automatically silence the mental noise. Plenty of high earners still feel the same tension, because the real issue isn't only the numbers. It's the mindset orbiting around those numbers. Once your brain gets stuck in scarcity mode, it keeps searching for threats, even when things are stable. like a smoke alarm that screams every time someone cooks bacon. That's why two people with the exact same income can feel completely different about money. One feels secure, the other feels like they're constantly one step from falling behind. The difference isn't just the paycheck, it's the internal story running in the background. And here's the moment where things start to shift. When you realize that feeling financially safe isn't just about building a bigger pile of money. It's about building a calmer relationship with the money you already have. Because if that relationship stays tense, no number will ever feel like enough. The target will keep moving, the pressure will keep whispering, and the chase will never slow down. But the second you notice how this invisible scarcity mindset works, something interesting happens. You stop letting it run the whole show. And honestly, I'm curious about something. Have you ever felt this weird situation where you're technically doing fine with money, yet it still feels like it's not quite enough? If that sounds familiar, drop a comment and just write, "I feel this." I want to see how many people quietly deal with this feeling. Because the truth is, most people think they're the only ones carrying that pressure. When in reality, millions of us are running the exact same race without even realizing it.